Welcome back to my channel, beloved. I'm Sophia, an acupuncture physician, fitness instructor, and a holistic health doctor. And today we are going to talk about one of my very favorite topics, and that is hair. Everyone who knows me knows that I am a big hair person. You know, some girls are all about the nails, some girls are all about their skin, but I always say that I'm like Samson from the Bible, that my strength is in my hair. So you can only imagine how I felt just a few years ago when my hair was in a bad, sad state. My hair was falling out, it was thinning, it was breaking, it was damaged. I felt like I could never get a good hair day. If any of you can relate to that, please give me a quick yes or an amen in the comments below. But today I'm going to share with you what I did to get back the strength and the length of my hair. We're going to be talking about my secrets to insane hair growth the natural way. All right? So, the appearance of longer hair is actually the combination of two things, two factors. We've got actual growth and we've got length retention. Hair growth is a product of your internal health as much as it is how you treat your scalp. It's about what you do as much as what you don't do. And length retention is more a product of how you treat your hair. What you do and what you don't do. This video is going to focus on the first part of it, so the actual growth part. That's why it's called part 1. And in part 2, we're going to be talking about length retention, okay? Because this stuff is deep, guys. We're going to go deep. This is a lot of information, and I don't want you to get overwhelmed by too much. I want you to be able to really absorb and apply these tips that you're learning today. So we're going to do a deep dive into it, though. And although there is a genetic component to, of course, the amount of hair that every person was born with, as well as color and texture, I promise you that if you apply the stuff that you're learning today, you are going to be able to grow your own natural hair to its maximum potential. All right, so stick with me. But before we get into the content, I would be remiss if I didn't tell you that the truth is that there is no instant solution to longer, fuller hair. Keyword instant. It takes time, it takes consistency, it takes commitment. But if you do what I'm telling you, you will start to see results in just a few weeks. Okay, so let's get started. All right, so hair growth from the scalp. Like I said, it's a component of your internal health as well as how you treat your scalp. So starting with internal health, the first thing is you need proper nutrition for your hair to grow. If you're eating a poor diet that is high in processed foods, sugar, carbs, and just junk in general, your hair is not going to grow to its maximum potential. You need to be eating a diet rich in protein, healthy fat, vitamins and minerals, as well as supplementing that which we don't always get enough of in our diets, such as zinc, omega-3, biotin, and vitamin E. Like I said before, you need to cut out processed foods. You got to opt for nutrient-dense whole foods, things that come out of the ground, things that you can pick off of a tree, okay, not things that come in a box. Or in a package. That stuff, your body doesn't really know what to do with it and has to go through a lot of work to kind of figure out, what am I going to do with this? And that slows down your hair growth, okay? So we got to get out of the body's way and make it easy for our body to use the stuff that we eat. You may have heard of the concept, we are what we eat, but that's actually not true. The truth is, you are what your body can digest. You are what your body can absorb. And this was a big game changer for me, because for years I thought that I was eating a healthy diet. I really was. I was eating a lot of vegetables, fruits, micronutrients. But the problem was that I was suffering from something called leaky gut. I always say, like, my gut was a leaky mess due to the type of diet that I had when I was a child. I ate a lot of sugar when I was a kid, a lot of processed food, a lot of junk, a lot of fast food. And, you know, my gut had what leaky gut is really, you know, like there's patchy holes in your digestive system. So the good nutrition that you're eating is not being absorbed. It's actually leaking out of the digestive tract. So enter probiotics and fermented foods. This was a huge game changer for me when I started working on my actual gut health, right? The integrity of my gut, my digestive health. Started eating probiotics. I started cutting out all the, you know, I had cut out all the junk, but I started eating probiotics and fermented foods. That's when things really started to change for me, because then my body was able to absorb all those good foods that I was eating. All right, so like I said, if you don't fix your gut, and I could probably make a whole nother video about this, let me know if you want me to. I probably will in the future, on how to heal your gut issues. There are a lot of different types of gut issues, but I didn't want to get too deep into that today. I just wanted to make the point that, like I said, if your gut health is not optimal, then your hair growth is not going to be optimal, because your body's not going to be able to metabolize all of that nutrition that you're eating. So another aspect of internal health that is also crucial for hair growth are balanced hormones. If you have hormonal imbalances, your hair could be falling out. Your hair is not going to be able to grow to its maximum potential. Now, again, without getting too deep into this topic, because I could probably make a whole nother video about this as well, just know that your hormones get reset and rebalanced every night when you sleep. And the truth is that most of us are not sleeping enough, or the quality of our sleep is not really the best. A lot of people are sleeping like 5.5 or 6 hours. This is not enough time for your hormones to get rebalanced and reset. You need to be sleeping at least 7.5 to 8 hours of good quality sleep to make sure that your hormones are balanced. So what happens when your hormones are not balanced is your cortisol levels are going to go up. When your cortisol levels go up, your body is in a state of stress, and that is going to impede hair growth. It's definitely going to slow it down. There's actually, moving on to the topic of stress in general, I cannot stress enough that stress is probably one of the worst things for your hair, probably even worse than improper nutrition. In fact, there's even a name for it. It's called telogen effluvium. You can look this up on your own. But what this means is that when your body is in a state of extreme or chronic stress, it pushes your hair into the telogen phase, which is when your hair is not growing. It's when it falls out and it's actually not growing. So check out, by the way, my yoga videos to help you manage your stress, because they can be very helpful for this. You definitely got to get your stress under control if you want your hair to be growing to its maximum potential. All right, so moving on to scalp care. Okay, this is where it gets fun. So the first thing is that you need to increase circulation to your scalp. And there are a number of ways to do this, okay? One of the best ways to do it is with what I call inversions, right? So anybody who's a yogi knows what I'm talking about when I say inversions. We're talking about headstands, handstands, or even forward bends, right? So if you just stand up and you touch your toes, that's a forward bend. And you'll notice that what happens is that the blood rushes to your head. Gravity is actually like making all the blood rush to your head. And that's actually extremely good and extremely healthy for your scalp. So what you want to do is get into a forward bend, get your hands and stick them into your hair, into your scalp, and start massaging your scalp rigorously. Do this every day. If you don't want to do it in the form of a forward bend, another way you can do it is, so you lay down on your bed and you let your head kind of hang off the side of the bed. Again, making sure that you're kind of feeling that blood rushing to the head. And again, you use your hands, your fingers, or actually I use a shampoo brush like this to really get in there and massage the scalp, because that's going to be increasing the circulation to your scalp. I remember when I was a kid, my grandmother shared a very awesome tip with me that I still remember to this day, which is that when you do this, if your scalp moves, right? You see how my scalp is like moving forward and back? When your scalp is able to move, that is a good sign that your scalp is healthy and that your hair is going to be able to grow out from your scalp. When your scalp is very stiff and it doesn't move, that means that your hair is not going to be able to grow out to its maximum potential. So you want to actually loosen up that scalp yourself with your hands, and with those forward bends or those inversions. They're going to go a long way in helping to like get that blood flow to your scalp and optimize your hair growth. Now, the other thing is that you need to maintain a healthy scalp pH. The pH of your scalp is extremely important. And you do this by not overwashing your hair. When you overwash your hair, you strip the natural oils that protect and keep your hair shiny and nourished. And they also protect your scalp. And many shampoos are actually very alkaline. And what that means is that they can disrupt the pH balance of your scalp. And then what happens is your scalp can actually rebalance itself. But if you're washing your hair too often, then it's like not getting a chance to really rebalance itself before you're washing it again. And then you're again like unbalancing the pH of the scalp. Now, I know what you're thinking right here. You're thinking, well, what do you mean? Like, wash my hair less? Like, my scalp is really oily. Like, if I don't wash my hair, it's going to look like I could fry an egg on top of it. That's what we used to say in high school. But that excessive production of oil in your scalp is actually a symptom of an unhealthy pH in the scalp. So this is what you do. In order to stop overwashing your hair, what you're going to do is slowly start cutting back on the washing. I'm not saying don't wash your hair. We're going to get into that in a second. Your scalp actually does need to be cleaned properly, but you don't want to overwash your hair. I personally wash my hair once a week to once every 10 days. I know you're sitting there probably thinking, ew, that's disgusting. I could never do that. But the truth is that my hair never looks greasy. It never looks oily because I have trained my scalp and my hair to not overproduce oil. So what I suggest that you do is you start slowly cutting back. So if you're washing your hair every day, start trying to go to every other day. Even if you have to like pull your hair back a little bit, you know, in between, you may not be able to wear your hair down every day. That's all right. Go to every other day, then try to go to every 2 days, then try to go to maybe every 3 days, and try to get to the point where you're only washing your hair once, maximum twice a week. I promise you this is going to go a long way in helping you grow out your hair. And your hair is also going to be much healthier, much shinier. It's going to look nicer every time that you do wash it, okay? Now, this is a tricky one, because you do need to clean your scalp properly. If you are not cleaning your scalp properly, then what's going to happen is you are going to have a buildup of dead skin cells and products in your scalp. And what that's going to do is block the pores. It's going to clog the pores and it's going to block the hair follicles, leading to death of the hair follicles. Like, oh no, that is exactly what we don't want, okay? Another thing that I've noticed it has become more popular in the last few years that girls are using a lot, that is also leading to this like clogging of the pores, believe it or not, is the dry shampoo. That dry shampoo, which is like that powdery stuff, that also can create a lot of buildup on your scalp. So that being said, you need every one of those pores to stay clean and open so that the new hair can push through. But there is another way to deep clean your scalp that does not involve shampooing your hair every day. And when I share it with you, it's gonna really surprise you, all right? Get ready. It's with oil. With oil, you can deep clean your scalp in a very different way that's going to unblock the pores, okay? this brings me to my absolute favorite and signature tip for insane hair growth, all right? It is castor oil, specifically Jamaican black castor oil. This is my best friend. It is my true love. It is the MVP of hair growth. It's been used for centuries by many different cultures, and it will continue to be used because it is that amazing. Like, if I could buy stock in castor oil, I would. Okay, it's amazing. So castor oil is high in omega-3 fatty acids and linoleic acid. And what that linoleic acid does is it actually thins out your own sebum, right? Which opens up the pores of your hair, opens up the follicles so that that new hair can come out into the world, right? If that wasn't enough, it also is antibacterial, it's antifungal, it's anti-dandruff, and it hydrates the scalp. Hello, I'm telling you, but it's actually not over yet. The other thing about it is that the castor oil, what it does is that the hair that's actually growing out as you start to do this treatment, and I'm going to show you in a second exactly how to do the treatment. Once you start doing this treatment on a routine basis, the new hair that grows out is actually going to be different than the hair that is already out there. It is going to grow out with more keratin in the hair. That means that your hair, that new hair that comes out, is going to be smoother, it's going to be less frizzy, it's going to be thicker, it's going to be more manageable, which means that you're going to need to use a lot less styling products, which is great because those styling products lead to a buildup on your scalp, which blocks the hair follicles, which doesn't let the new hair grow out. You see how it's a cycle? So castor oil steps in and helps you break that cycle that needs to be broken so that your hair can grow to its maximum potential. So now let's get into the specifics of how you are going to do this treatment, and also a couple things that you can do to even enhance the castor oil in itself. All right. So first of all, this is the castor oil that I use. It is called Creole Essence. This one is 100% pure black castor oil. And that's actually really important that it's pure, because when you go out there and you buy castor oil, which is very inexpensive, by the way, and you can find it everywhere, like on the internet, it's not hard to find. But the problem is that you got to be very picky on the fact that it's pure. When you turn the bottle over and you look at the ingredients, a lot of products that are labeled as castor oil, when you turn them around, they've got soybean oil in there, they've got like other oils mixed in. They're not pure, and those oils can actually be like bad for your scalp. So you want to make sure that it's 100% pure castor oil, and even better, the black castor oil, the dark castor oil. It might say black, it might say dark. Usually, you can pretty much trust the one that says Jamaican black castor oil, but always turn the bottle around and read the ingredients and make sure that it is purely castor oil. The only thing that might be mixed in there that is okay is if there are pure essential oils in there. Sometimes there will be rosemary essential oil, there might be peppermint essential oil, and those are actually really good. In fact, if your castor oil is plain and doesn't come with it, then what I do is I add in rosemary essential oil but I do both, to be honest, to just really supercharge it, peppermint essential oil. So what that does is it's going to actually supercharge the castor oil by further invigorating and stimulating the scalp. All right. It also adds a really nice aromatherapy kick to the treatment. It's going to make your hair smell good when you put in the castor oil. And that aromatherapy is also going to help with, some stress relief, which, like we talked about before, is a very important component of being able to grow out your hair to its maximum potential. You got to kick that stress out so that the new hair can come in. So what you're gonna do is you're going to apply the castor oil to the roots of your hair, not the entire length of the hair, just the roots, okay? And what you're trying to do is coat the entire scalp of your hair with the castor oil. So what I like to do is I like to pull my hair back into kind of like a ponytail or like a bun or something. And then the castor oil is gonna come with like a dropper, usually inside. And then you're gonna like go like this, like go around the edges first, especially because that's one of the areas where people usually experience a lot of the thinning and the breaking. You should have seen, I used to have like the deepest like holes in my hairline. My forehead looked like a landing strip, all right? But now it doesn't. It's actually like grown in quite nicely. I used to actually put in like that brown powder in the hair, like the hair fiber powder to fill in the hairline. I don't need to do that anymore, which is awesome. So you're going to divide up the hair. You're going to, you know, put it all in the inside, starting with the edges, working your way into the center of the scalp. Make sure that you also do the bottom hairline as well, around the nape of the neck. This is where I used to actually get a lot of breakage from tying up my hair. And here is an additional tip, okay? If you can get someone to do this for you, this is even better. I used to, now my husband does it, but before I used to actually drive to a friend of mine's house every week and got her to apply the castor oil for me. And the reason is because it just feels so good. It is so relaxing when someone applies it for you. Also, sometimes I feel like they're able to get a little bit better coverage. So if you can get someone to do it for you, that is amazing. If you can't, it's okay. You can do it yourself. I don't want to hear excuses that, oh, I couldn't get someone to do it for me, so, you know, I can't do the castor oil. You can totally do it by yourself. It's just really nice and relaxing if somebody else does it for you. You'll see what I mean when you have someone do it for you for the first time. You can even get your like kids to do it. So, couple of frequently asked questions about the application of the castor oil. A lot of people ask me, so is it going to stain my sheets if I leave it on? No, it does not stain your sheets. You want to leave the castor oil on at least overnight. So I like to do it the day before I'm going to wash my hair, or even a couple days before. I know you guys probably think this sounds super gross, but what I do is I'll have the castor oil in the roots and I'll just either slick my hair back into a bun, which actually looks quite nice. It does not look greasy. It really doesn't look oily. It just looks like sleek and shiny. It really doesn't look bad. So you can just brush your hair back into like a nice bun. It doesn't have to be super tight, by the way. Or you can put your hair like into a braid. You can rock a bandana like on the top of your hair, you know. But if you're able to leave it on for a couple days, trust me, the results are going to be well worth it. It's going to go a long way. You want to leave it on. Sometimes on the bottle, you'll see that it'll say like to just leave it on a few hours before you wash your hair. In my personal opinion, that is not enough. You really need to leave it on like at least the night before, if not a couple of days before, to get like insane results. And let's see what else. A lot of it actually gets absorbed into your hair. So you'll notice, I notice when I leave it on for a couple days, like right when you put it on, it's gonna be like, you know, a little oily or greasy. But as the days go on, your scalp actually absorbs a lot of it. And you'll be like, wait a minute, do I need to put in more? Because some of it seems like it's gone. You don't need to put in more, but I'm just saying, you might think that. All right, and then when you put on the castor oil, you want to really massage it in with your nails or your fingers or one of these, a shampoo brush, okay? So, by the way, this shampoo brush, this thing costs like $1 in the dollar store, in Dollar Tree. You can look this up online, super inexpensive. And you can use this both when you wash your hair and once you have the castor oil on to like really massage it in. Okay, so that's actually all I have for the actual growth portion. So like I said, we covered the nutrition, we covered stress management, sleeping enough, gut health, and also scalp hair, the circulation to the scalp, pH balance of the scalp, not overwashing the hair, not using products that are very harsh, like those. I would prefer like sulfate free shampoo is definitely better. And then the castor oil treatment. All right, so I hope that you guys enjoyed all of these tips. I hope that you start to apply them. And in the next video, we are going to be talking about part 2, which is length retention. So once the hair is already growing out from the scalp, once you've got it growing, how are you going to ensure that the hair can actually reach its maximum length? That's what we're going to talk about next time. So if you liked this video, please like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel so that you will be notified when I post part 2. All right, thank you so much for being with me. I hope you guys have a beautiful evening. I love you so much. Bye-bye.